Hi, this is Mike from Music Ministry 101. In this video, we're going to be practicing the psalm for the second Sunday of Advent. I'll play and sing the psalm first, and then I have some great tips for you this week, and then at the end, we'll do a karaoke version. Before we get into the video, I wanted to share a quick announcement with you. I'm going to be running a small private coaching group where I get to work with you directly. So whatever you aspire to be as a singer and even as a person, I want to help you get from point A to point B. Maybe you just want to become a more spiritual person where the psalms and the songs that you sing can come across to the congregation much more clearly and on a much higher and deeper level. Whatever it is, whether it be breath support or maybe you get stage fright, I want to help you get over those issues. So that's why I'm setting up a small private coaching group where I can work with you directly. Now, since the pandemic broke, I stopped working with singers because choirs suddenly evaporated. And that's after 15 years of working with vocalists. 15 years, and then we had to stop. You probably had a similar experience. So now that I know what's possible with the online formats, I'm getting back into coaching. So, if you'd like to work with me directly, go to www.musicministry101.com/application, fill out the short application, we'll get on the phone together and make sure that you're a good fit for the group and that I can help you with what you are struggling with. This is all about results, small coaching group. Everyone is going to see massive results over the course of the 12 weeks. So I hope to see you in the program. Fill out an application if you're interested. And now let's get to your regular scheduled broadcast.
Lord, let us see your kindness and grant us your salvation. I will hear what God proclaims, the Lord, for he proclaims peace to his people. Near indeed is his salvation to those who fear him, glory dwelling in our lands. Lord, let us see your kindness and grant us your salvation. Kindness and truth shall meet, justice and peace shall kiss. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and justice shall look down from heaven. Lord, let us see your kindness and grant us your salvation. The Lord himself will give his benefits. Our land shall yield its increase. Justice shall walk before him and prepare the way of his steps. Lord, let us see your kindness and grant us your salvation.
All right, it's a lovely psalm here this weekend for the second Sunday of Advent. So I have a wonderful tip for you, and this is a mistake that I hear cantors do all the time when I listen to other cantors, different churches, and so on. Now, when you're working with really high-level musicians, they think of longer phrases, and they're not thinking of shorter phrases as much. So a phrase is a coherent chunk of music, right? It has a beginning, middle, and end sometimes. Clearly it has a beginning and end, and I guess that means it has a middle too. But it's a chunk of music. So what's the first phrase in this song, this psalm?
Lord, let us see your kindness.
That's probably the first phrase right there.
And grant us your salvation.
that could be a second phrase. Now, there's a couple ways to think about this in terms of phrases. First of all, that was the first phrase and the second phrase, but you could also think of this as one big phrase, a macro phrase. And if we zoom in lower, on a lower level, you could actually break this apart even more. And so this is what I hear cantors do a lot. This is what kind of bugs me. I hear them sing individual notes rather than long phrases. So I often hear, Lord, let us see your kindness and grant us your salvation. And I think they're thinking about the individual notes, right? You got to get all the notes right. And so you hear all of the beats very separate. You hear them all separated. So what I would suggest here is think of the macro phrases, those two macro phrases, or think of this whole thing as one long phrase. So what does that sound like? It sounds like this. Lord, let us see your kindness and grant us your salvation. Now that's a little tricky to do. You have to have good breath support to be able to do that, but it's possible and you can learn how to do that. Just look at some of my other breath support related videos. Now if that's too hard, break it up into the two phrases. Go for the word kindness and then go for salvation. Here's what I mean. Lord, let us see your kindness. New phrase. And grant us your salvation. So having that idea of phrasing, especially macro phrases, can be incredibly helpful on these psalms. And frankly, it's what separates an intermediate singer with a professional singer. The professional singer is always going to go for those longer and longer phrases because they know how to connect the notes as I showed you. To practice this, do exactly what I was doing with my hands. So show the line as it goes to kindness and show the next line as it goes to salvation. It's the greatest way to practice. Now, I learned all of this stuff from the university by working with fantastic professors and just being a doctoral student in general at a university. And what I'm going to be doing, starting probably in January, is opening up a very small group. We're talking like 10 or 12 people at the most, which is going to be a private coaching group. So I'm going to be coaching singers like you perhaps on this music and any other kind of music that we want to look at as a group. So this trick with phrasing, it's just one of many, many things which I plan on teaching in this private coaching group. If you would want to consider doing that, to go really deep, really intense, and to just be in a group with me where I am coaching you directly, mentoring you directly, consider filling out an application for a free phone call, which I'll be doing myself. You can fill out an application by going to www.musicministry101.com/application. I'll leave the link in the description below. And again, this is a very small group of people that are going to be working intensely for 12 weeks. So if you're interested in that, check out the link in the description below. And now let's do the karaoke version. I'll do the end of the refrain and we'll do the refrain one time. Okay, so here's your introduction. great job. I hope that was helpful. If it was, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Or better yet, just share this video with the other cantors that you know. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much and have a great second Sunday of Advent.